The fight against underachievement, connecting technology with gifted students. Can you pick out the gifted student in this picture? Without having access to personal and academic information about each student, it would be impossible to identify which of these students was gifted. Another problem in attempting to identify the gifted student is realizing that although there has been much research conducted, there really is not one definition of giftedness. Terman's 1925 definition identifies giftedness as those individuals with a 140 IQ, or the top 1% of the general population's intellectual ability. Feldhusen's 1986 definition specifically included general intellectual ability and achievement motivation as his indication of giftedness. Likewise, Renzulli's 1978 and 1986 definition suggests a three-ring interaction defining giftedness as a above-average intellectual ability, creativity, and task commitment as proof towards giftedness in an individual. Finally, in a report to Congress given in 1971 by former U.S. Commissioner of Education Sidney P. Marlin, Jr., he stated, "Gifted and talented children are those identified by professionally qualified persons who by virtue of outstanding abilities are capable of high performance." The same report continued, "Children capable of high performance include those with demonstrated achievement and or potential ability in any of the following areas, singly or in combination: general intellectual ability, specific academic aptitude, creative or productive thinking, leadership ability, psychomotor ability, and visual or performing arts." Why is defining giftedness so important? In 1986, Gallagher and Courtwright provided helpful research towards this concern by stating, "The field applies the term gifted to definitions that emerge out of the study of individual differences in psychology and also to definitions that are developed by policymakers and practitioners in order to develop and deliver services to gifted students." This means the reason it is so difficult to agree upon one definition of giftedness is because different fields of study are interpreting the information for different reasons. So there may not be one definition for gifted students, but research still provides information about characteristics of gifted students. Most individuals commonly associate gifted students as having above average intellectual ability, or being creative. Gifted students are able to learn, process, and retain information faster than peers of their similar age. They are able to utilize critical thinking and problem-solving skills for metacognition. One of the defining character traits of gifted students is their persistent curiosity for either a wide range of interests or extreme depth for a specific topic. Some gifted students also possess a superior use of written or verbal levels of vocabulary. Another trait observed in gifted students is their empathetic awareness to both personal and world issues. Research continually shows gifted students want to be challenged in the classroom. They also desire for their learning to be meaningful and contain relevance to their world. So what's the point of recognizing all of these traits? Vygotsky's work in 1978 on the zone of proximal development better explains the necessity for addressing the academic needs of gifted students. A student's zone of proximal development is created when a student interacts with new material. As the student learns new information, the zone moves further out, therefore ever expanding the student's zone. Researchers Kinsky and Klein explain teachers who offer and support tasks that include choice, control, complexity, and challenge will expand the zone of proximal development and result in relatively greater learning benefits for students. The disconnect between gifted students and learning occurs when the pressures and structures of the school system dictate the type of learning presented in the classroom. In 2002, researchers Moon, Brighton, and Callahan stated teachers readily acknowledge that gifted students are not adequately challenged, already know much of the material covered in class, and need enrichment opportunities. However, teachers hesitate to provide these things for fear of wasting time. Despite these realizations, teachers still feel pressure to emphasize test preparations to assure that the gifted students do what they can to pull up the rest of the student population. It is clear to see why gifted students resent this type of learning and will do anything they can to demand the education they expect to receive in the classroom. One of the ways gifted students attempt to control their education is through underachievement. Underachievement is defined as the discrepancy between a student's school performance and their ability index. Viewing underachievement as an attitude or personality problem makes it impossible for the discrepancy to be resolved. However, if underachievement is defined as an action, then performance changes can occur in the gifted student. DeLeese and Galbraith call this student the selective consumer or non-producers. Over time, the discrepancy between learning styles and characteristics of the gifted students will lead to boredom and disengagement. It is during this process when gifted students begin to resent school and show signs of underachievement. Behavioral signs of disengagement include skipping class, incomplete homework, and reduced attentiveness. Research shows that eventually this disengagement process for gifted students can lead to dropping out of school. My capstone project is built around growing teacher awareness in regards to the needs of gifted students. As teachers begin to understand the deeper needs of gifted students, teachers are able to support and engage the student appropriately. One of those ways I am suggesting this be accomplished through my project is incorporating technology and project-based learning. Project-based learning is an instructional-based, learner-centered approach to teaching curriculum in the classroom. It enables students to participate in authentic learning tasks based on a driving question or problem. Once students have investigated the question, they integrate their knowledge to produce an artifact as a representation of the learning process. As students engage with the curriculum from the project-based learning standpoint, they are able to guide, manage, and monitor their own learning. The use of technology also provides authentic means for gifted students to practice the development of 21st century skills, such as critical thinking, collaboration, communication, flexibility, self-direction, and leadership. It has become increasingly more important for students to develop these skills and utilize a deeper integration of technology as they enter the workforce. With project-based learning, students are able to utilize technology while applying 21st century skills. My capstone project is a small glimpse into the wide range of topics surrounding gifted education. I feel it is so important, though, because gifted students are faced with increasing demands from school systems to conform to a learning pattern. These patterns do not fit with their learning style, nor do they maintain the integrity of education. As gifted students resist the constraints of traditional classrooms through behavior signs of boredom, it is imperative to find a solution worthy of their educational need. Although the structure of school may not change, combining project-based learning with technology provides teachers with a means for helping to reverse underachievement in gifted students.